You have probably gone to hospital, maybe having some difficulties, in conceiving, and you probably do not have your normal flow, or sometimes you have, extraordinary pain, you don't know from where. And on constant occasions, you've heard the gynae or the doctor saying, this is due to hormonal imbalance. Sometimes you've been given a family planning and you probably are overbleeding, and then you're told hormonal imbalance. And somewhere in between, the women will tell you they get so confused with all this story of hormonal imbalance. So today, we just want to understand what is the chemistry behind hormonal imbalance, where do they come from, the impact of hormones in our health, and so much more. And as always, the specialist doctor, gynecologist, Dr. Ignatius Kibe is here with us this morning, so that, in the simplest form possible, he will crack this term, hormones. Good to have you.
Thank you very much, Linda.
Yes, and it's not about ladies alone.
No, men have hormones also, and men have hormonal imbalances also.
Right, but theirs is not as,
Well, it is there, but being the decision makers and the leaders in this field, they don't want research to be done on them.
Okay.
Well, you ask yourself, why don't we have men family planning pill, or men injection, and the men implant into the systems? It's because they are careful not to indulge so much and not to bring research. Anyhow, you said I should be as simple. It's going to be a bit difficult to be simple because this whole science is done out there, and it's a complicated science. When you ask me what are hormones, for example, I'll say in chemistry, although I would not dwell on those long chemical names, my professor and my teachers, even in high school and in university, used to tell me, don't use big words. But then hormones are developments or chemicals in the body that are used as messengers from point A to point B that go and say, do this, do that, do the other. For example, ministers and the CSs are messengers of the government, of the executive, of the president. So when it comes to big deals, or when it comes to probably a policy being developed and being a policy has to be sold or to be given to the public for their consumption or for public participation, messengers are CSs, are PSs, are other secretaries. Those are the messengers. Similarly, when something has to be done by the body, it has messengers in a similar, exactly the same system. And in chemistry, you warned me not to use big names.
It's all right.
But I know we also have...
use the biggest of names, but...
we have doctors also watching us.
Yes.
We have nurses, we have pharmacists, we have biochemists, we have laboratory technologists and laboratory staff. So for them, this is a statement for them.
Okay.
These are derivatives of a chemical that we call 17-pentanophenanthrene ring nucleus alkaloid. 17-pentanophenanthrene ring nucleus alkaloids are the ones that are going to be developed into hormones. And that's why we always shout whenever we end our programs in medicine and on media. We also want to tell the audience, eat this, eat avocado, eat broccoli, eat spinach, eat fish. It is, we are sourcing the 17-pentanophenanthrene ring nucleus startups. Okay. And
zinc.
And they all have the same, almost the same type of chemistry. You used the word chemistry, not me. That estrogens and progesterones and even testosterone for the man, they are very similar. They are very close in structure, in chemical structure. I know Linda and you, the audience, the viewers, are more interested in the practical and simpler way of seeing this thing. What are hormones, especially hormones in ladies, hormones in reproductive system? And this will answer questions like, why delay menstrual periods? Why is it erratic? Why is my menstruation amenorrheic, means it is not coming for 2 to 3 months and then coming in this way or the other? Why does it have clots? Why do I have cramps? Why do I have dysmenorrhea, painful menstruation? Why? Why do we go to menopause? All is because of hormones, the messengers, the chemical messengers in the body.
All right.
And the ones that lead her is usually, or the way she has started me, she's interested in those that are responsible for reproduction.
Yes.
And they are manufactured from what I just mentioned, food. The raw material is food. Mm-hmm. And that's why I would like to mention once again those foods that we always talk about. I will never leave out fish. I will never leave out leafy greens. She's used to broccoli these days. She used
I
to
love them. And my carrots and
you know, this, what do you call, bright colored fruits, the orange, you know, the tree tomato, probably these days the inner side of the watermelon. Mm-hmm. All those have on the other side vitamins that will now help promote the so-called hormones. So where are hormones made?
All right.
That's the second question.
First of all, are they so necessary in the body?
Absolutely.
Now that it appears like they're coming in to distract every other.
Without hormones, the world will go crazy. Without estrogens, and if a woman has excess of, for example, testosterone, you know, you have both. Yeah. You have the male one and the female one, but the female one predominates in you, and the male one predominates in me. Okay. In me, there is testosterone manufactured by the testes. Okay? Mm-hmm. Matures up in the epididymis and it's stored in the seminal vesicle. In you, the predominant one is estrogen, the opposite. Mm-hmm. And like I said, they have basically the same beginning, basically the same raw materials. Okay. Now, for the women, one, there is a gland up in the brain, mm-hmm, where I'm pointing, and it is called the hypothalamus, and it's the one that starts to send these hormones. It sends a hormone called the gonadotrophin releasing hormone, GnRH, and this hormone goes down. It's like the head of state, yes, sending his minister for defense or internal security and saying, go to Laikipia and check what is happening there. Yeah. So there is the signal, the hormone from the hypothalamus, which now means if somebody has a problem with the hypothalamus, okay, if somebody has, for example, a cancer, or somebody has, for example, a malformation of that gland, automatically there will be no GnRH, there will be no gonadotrophin releasing hormone. Okay? Mm-hmm. Now this GnRH goes down to another gland immediately below, and this gland is common and well known even by primary school. You're talking about CDC, today morning, CBC this morning, and it was there even during my time in the 50s and 60s. Okay. We were taught about the pituitary gland, and we were told this pituitary gland is the master endocrine gland. Yeah. Whatever, we followed that, those of us who went to sciences. Master endocrine gland. Now, this gland, which is again in the brain, and that's why I'm saying, if there is a small pimple, and mind you, Linda.
Yes.
You don't have, but many ladies, you find they have pimples. Yeah. If there is and who tells you that if you get pimples on the skin, the outer skin, that you cannot get a pimple inside? So if you had a pimple, a small pimple in the pituitary gland, then the whole place will mess up.
Okay.
And it is quite often that a woman becomes infertile, and we end up with a pimple in the pituitary gland. Some women, even after having stopped breastfeeding for 5 years, if you express their breasts, if you pressurize, if you sort of milked, they will still have milk coming out of breasts that have not been suckled for the last 5 years.
Ooh.
5
years.
There is no suckling, there is no baby, but still there is blood.
Okay.
There is milk. Now the question is, what is happening? We automatically go to a brain scan or whatever style, MRI, and we check the pituitary. I'm stressing on the pituitary because everybody who has been to school in Kenya and abroad and everywhere knows the pituitary gland.
Yeah.
So it is the pituitary gland that has been told by the hypothalamus, the gonadotrophin-releasing hormone. It was told, now start. We want a baby. We want a baby. Do what you do when we want a baby. And the pituitary releases a hormone, now the messenger. The master, the president was the hypothalamus. Now, the other gland, which is now the base, the buildings and the infrastructure, is the pituitary gland.
Yeah.
Now, this pituitary gland releases something we call the follicle stimulating hormone, FSH.
Okay.
It says now we want a baby. We want a baby.
So this in this case is delayed conception. Now in relation to the
relationship to the hormones.
Okay.
The question is, what is this? Linda wants to know, what are these hormones?
Yes.
Everybody is blaming hormones. Even when a woman insults and shouts and rants at the husband, they say it is hormones. Even when the woman does not get her menses, wageni hawajakuja, hormones. Yeah. Even when the baby is not coming, hormones. So Linda wants to know what is this thing called hormone. So estrogen. Estrogen has been released by the master endocrine gland in primary school and in secondary school. Master endocrine gland called pituitary. So pituitary releases this hormone called FSH. What is the work of FSH? FSH goes down through blood, we say hematogenously. It goes through blood. Inapitia kwa damu, inaenda mpaka kwa the ovaries. Okay. It goes to the ovaries. It also goes to the uterus. Now the system is working. The president sent the CS, internal security. The CS, internal security, went and held a meeting and they called it a security meeting and security council. And then the minister walked out. The minister is the hormone. And he is now in Laikipia and giving orders from above. And now, this is the FSH.
Okay.
FSH is the one that is responsible for recruitment, so to call it. Recruitment. Mayai ni mingi. There are more than 600,000 eggs. We want one, the best egg. Recruitment is the work of FSH. It says this one looks like he would make a good baby boy. Okay. This one and this one look like they can make twins. This one and this, so they recruit. The FSH recruits. You want to know what hormones are. What is this hormonal imbalance? So that means if you don't have sufficient FSH, a doctor must inject you or give you orally the FSH, or must give you foods and other supplements to increase FSH. Without FSH, there is no recruitment, so there is no baby.
Okay. And so at some point you would end up thinking that you're not able to sire.
And kumbe, it is your FSH for whatever reason, probably malnutrition, probably you are born like that without a properly functioning pituitary gland. So we must do this thorough search. Now FSH has recruited the egg, selected the very best. Okay?
Yes.
Sometimes they select, this FSH selects up to 8 eggs at a go and says 1, 2, 3, 4, just like the race of the recruits in the military. So they select, and these selected ones are told, go and run. Let us see the one who runs better than everybody else. Open your mouth. Let us see your limbs. Let us see your eyes. Let us see your legs. Let us see whether you can make a good soldier. That is the work of FSH.
In full?
Follicle stimulating hormone. Follicle is the egg and the food of the egg. The shell and the yolk. So that is a follicle. The egg has been selected, recruited by follicle stimulating hormone. So today's lesson is going to be slightly scientific, but I will dilute it, and I'm capable of diluting it for you to really appreciate it.
Well, and of course, as we dilute, remember, our main focus then we say is on the aspect of conception, the imbalances, hormonal imbalances, if there's anything like that, then in a huge way have gotten us to a point where we've had delayed conception. And we've touched on that briefly. And so as we expound this conversation further, one would want to ask, well, amidst all this, if you get your hormones balanced or well balanced, what are some of the other things that you're supposed to do to make sure that you are pregnant for a woman? I mean, how many times should a woman actually proceed to, have intercourse so that at least they are able to get pregnant? And does it in any way connect to the hormones?
Absolutely. True, Linda. And I told you I'll give you a certificate of nursing.
The next time we'll be presenting that. You wait and see. Yes, you wait and see.
So let's go step by step. Yeah. FSH has now selected. And if it is not sufficient, it's a hormonal imbalance. Okay? Yes. Now the egg itself starts growing. Several eggs start growing simultaneously. Could be 5, 6, 8, 3, but we only will end up with 1. The others will die in the process. The others will be thrown out of the queue. Now, what happens is the selected egg, we like calling it ovum or follicle, itself starts releasing another hormone now, a second hormone. In fact, a set of hormones. Let me call them estrogens. Estrogens are coming from the egg which is developing. The egg which is developing in the ovary of a woman produces the second hormone or set of hormones called estrogens. Okay. And these estrogens will prepare the place where the baby will go and implant. Okay. It is the one that is the manure. It is the cause of manure. Namwaga manure, namwaga mbolea, rotuba mzuri, ili tukipanda, the baby may grow. So if you don't have sufficient of estrogens, again, another language of hormonal imbalance. Okay. So we must have sufficient of these hormones, estrogens. And now the third hormone, luteinizing hormone. It is the one that matures up. It is the one that causes the last spurt of growth of the eggs. The eggs grow proliferatively. You call it proliferation. They grow. It's like maturing up. And now, at that stage, when LH is released, and if you come across a man who also has good hormones, And this is day 13. And I keep telling you guys, day 13 is crucial for a baby boy.
Oh, yeah.
Day 13.
For, according to your menses.
Well, it is according to the menses now.
Yeah.
You asked me the number of times a woman should indulge and how and what style.
Before
And so that now we are we are at the stage where the egg is now mature. The follicle is now mature and is about to be released. It is the release of the mature follicle, and the mature follicle has taken 13 days to mature, okay, in the ovary. And if you have sufficient of LH, luteinizing hormone, if you don't have luteinizing hormone, hakuna mtoto.
Hakuna mtoto. So at that point you're rendered, like it goes to the level of infertility? Or
subfertile, I like call it.
Because it can be reversed.
It can be reversed.
You can boost.
So in fact, I'm requesting our clinical comrades, don't tell a woman infertile if you are still working on her. Because why are you working on her if you are completely sure that she's infertile? I like using the word subfertile. She's not getting it at the right time. So what is to answer Linda here? On average, 2 to 3 intercourses per week.
Wow. On
average. Don't they say in my language, sio kufanyia mara nyingi sio mtoto. Hapana.
Strategically
day 13 and 2 to 3 times per week. And if you do it for a year, for 12 months without conceiving, then we say you are subfertile.
All right.
So we've talked about three hormones. I'll mention the fourth one and then you can take me for a break. Eh?
Okay.
The fourth one.
Okay.
So these people have done it 2 or 3 times per week. They have done it and targeted or deliberately done it on day 13 and day 14.
Okay.
Day 13 and day 14. That is when the egg is ripe. Before that, it was pleasure. In fact, after that, it's again pleasure. And this is what you call unsafe days. 13 and 14.
Okay.
But remember, some sperms are capable of hiding from day 12 and impregnating a woman.
Ooh.
So the peak is day 13 and day 14, that night.
Why?
On day 13 and day 14, FSH was proper, estrogens were proper, luteinizing hormone was proper, and it spiked on day 13. Day 14, the egg
has hit,
and on that day, even in a cow, even in a he-goat and a she-goat, if you don't, when your cow shows, I want, and it mows the whole night, and the following day, and it is restless, and is jumping out of the boma and going looking, and is jumping on the others, these are signs. And you people, you also have the signs, by the way.
Yes.
Women, they pretend that sitaki, sikoje, kumbe it is day 13.
On the other side, that is when you unataka zaidi.
And it goes through 4 stages. Ya kwanza ya kutaka. Na hiyo unajisikia we mwenyewe. I wish I would get somebody whose sweat smells of a man.
Okay.
Day 13, day 14, I wish I could get dated.
Okay.
It's just like the cow. The cow is looking for a date when it is restless. And if you don't give it a date and you try it on day 16, you are wasting time.
Allah. There you have.
So it must be the day 13, day 14, that night, and the woman becomes restless. A woman temperature rises a little bit. The woman becomes, some women, most women become quarrelsome.
Allah.
Some agitated and anxious. Some do not even know is silent heat. But it is there. Day 13, day 14, if the hormones are proper.
Okay, so day 13 after your menses, or day 13 of the month?
Day 1, not the calendar month.
Not the calendar month.
Day 1 is the day you notice the first drop of blood.
Okay, hold it right there. Let's take a quick break and then we come back and pick
anytime. Okay,
all right, after this break. Thank you.
Ability is common in everyone. Those abled differently also have immense ability.
Maybe we are not good in both, but we can be good in life.
They reach beyond the limits in their special, different way.
If the society can just be careful in what they call them and how they refer to them, that would at least be better.
They need to be loved. They have feelings. They would like to give love. It's a natural thing.
Catch their story on Beyond the Limit on TV 47 every Saturday at 7:30 p.m.
The brain does not exactly know how to differentiate physical pain from the psychological.
Nilikuwa na feel nimefeel hata watoi wangu.
This month, our sisters, mothers and friends share their heartfelt stories of the pain and struggles with Joy Irongo.
We are all about being authentic and sharing our lifetime experiences to speak hope and empower a woman who's probably going through a rough patch.
Join us as we unravel the heartache.
So the doctor told me she has only 2 weeks to live.
Mimi nilikaa tu miezi 2 tu nikiwa na furaha kwa ndoa.
Every Saturday at 8:30 p.m.
Are you looking to buy a home? Or are you looking to build one, yet you don't know where to start? Well, The Realtor is your home of real estate development information, whether you are looking to invest in the city or outside the city. We link you with the experts in the field, be it designing.
We have also very nice lighting and then gypsum decoration on the top of the ceiling.
Roofing.
When you involve a professional in your construction, there is a difference. Project that has been delivered by a professional person and a project that has not been delivered by a professional person.
Interiors.
What we are trying to go is for a mix of European and Middle Eastern look.
Everything all under one roof. Join us every Tuesday at 7:30 p.m.
Any waste stream in our society can be turned into a revenue stream. Basically, turning lemons to lemonade. It could be a restaurant, animation industry, artistry, or even fitness. Just like the sweet and sour taste of lemons, businesses have their highs and their lows. Join me, Violet Njoki, on the grind as business and
Daktari, I love Daktari with my life because you know what? We come out of this place with so much information, and my team right behind is so excited because they've just picked something that they probably did not know. And I have also gauged myself, and I've thought of the numerous times I kept saying, I don't want, but here we are. And so, Daktari.
That is the 4 stages, by the way, Linda.
Yes.
And to clarify it, because it's a bit delicate, is that a man goes through only one stage, the stage of want.
Wow.
A woman goes through
4
stages. I want, but I don't want.
Okay.
It's stage number 2.
Okay.
And in stage number 2, she's waiting for hormones to trickle down. She's also waiting for her organs to wet.
Okay.
And it's the man's responsibility
to make sure
that she wets by touching, by whispering, by looking, by presenting, by promising. So that
promising, even if it's lies.
Of course. But I keep on telling my people, look, why do Wazungus come all the way from wherever to come and watch our animals? You see a Mzungu coming to follow an elephant and her husband for about 2 years to see when the elephant wants, how does it react? How does the female react? How does the male? Lions, when a lion has to mate, so how does the woman do? What are the characteristics, and what is the response by the man? So our women, especially African women, out there, they will tell you, Wazungus, I will not even say today is my 13th day, please come early. We don't like it that way. It's rather too crude, too straight. Yeah. You play games, You make a good coffee for him. You probably make you make sure that you touch him also. It takes two to tango. So you make a good coffee. You make him happy. You touch him all over. And his stage is 1, 2. And women, they go through 4 of them. First one is, yes, I don't mind.
Okay.
Even here in campus, the campus is out here. Somebody has come, a lady has come to the student's room. And the poor boy is struggling, and this one is refusing. That is stage 2. Okay. It's called the plateau. Anakataa ili mwili ulirax. Anakataa na kijana lazima ajue what to do, what to tell, how to whisper, how to smile, how to probably tell a lie or two. I'll take you to the coast.
To the moon. And they sound so nice, those lies.
Yes, they are sweet.
They're so sweet.
And even the he-goat does the same.
Okay.
The whole night.
Okay.
It's telling the lady, get ready. Please, let the bathrooms release the fluid. Let you slippery. I want this, I want that. So you talk. Please, talk. Don't jump on somebody like a stolen bicycle. Don't. You go step by step. She's going through her steps. She started with the desire.
Yeah.
She went to plateau. Now you want her to go to orgasm.
Okay.
Orgasm is stage 3. And at the orgasm, both of you now rise up to the occasion. Yule alikuwa nasema hapana. She was refusing. She was saying, close the door. Lock the door. Now, you're upstairs somewhere in a flat. And then and the room is upstairs. And return the blinds. Put the curtains back. Then you wonder now, who is watching you up here? You wake up and you go and put the blinds, put the curtains back, then you come back. She says, no, wait, neighbor is hearing. Now we are in stage.
How these men can relate now.
And that is the time when the woman's organs, the woman's muscles of the private parts, of the inner parts, the brain is pouring what we call dopamine. It is releasing hormones of love. It is the cortisol has gone down by that time. Adrenaline has gone down.
Okay.
She must relax in your arms or in your bed or wherever you are or on a sofa set. Then after that, you've taken her through. These are all hormones, even the dopamine and the serotonin and the oxytocins. They are all poured into her. Okay. And now she starts smooching you all over. And there is nothing wrong. And keep the spirit up. Talk. These are hormones. She asked me what are hormones.
Yes.
I'm now answering both. I said about the 3 initial hormones, the principal hormones. I'm now talking about other hormones from the brain. I've mentioned the dopamine. I've mentioned the serotonin. I've mentioned the oxytocin that relax the woman. And now she stops telling you to close the door, and she stops
that we are scared.
And the adrenaline has gone down, and she now feels comfortable and feels confident and feels a bounce of love. And she also now takes over.
Okay.
And that's the orgasm. Okay? But unfortunately, the man finishes the orgasm earlier than the woman.
Oh, always.
Always. You know, this man is made in such a way that he rises up very fast and he also goes down very fast. And that is stage 4.
Okay.
In stage 4, the man becomes stupid. You know, and he starts even, behaving funny. The woman wants more. The man is, Why? This again is very important. Don't judge him.
Wait a minute, before we go to that level. I'm told there's a way you can play that trick and make sure that you're there until you're all dead together. And I don't know how I'm going to do this show. I really don't.
It is hormonal.
Teach them how to do that.
These are hormones.
Teach them how to do it.
You know, I can do that because I'm talking from the book. I'm talking from my qualifications. I'm talking from my experience. So that last stage. If the woman continues playing around, romantically playing around with a man, he can sustain himself, except those who have what we call premature ejaculation.
Yeah.
Some who have, for example, Linda, there are some young men who do masturbation. And because of that, the nerves are haywire, they are crazy, and he always gets premature ejaculation. But this normal man, if you sustain him and you sustain contact between the two of you, don't sleep and look the other side. It is a curse for a man to look the other side and show the woman the back.
The back.
It's wrong. Caress her. Stay with her. Let the hormones flow. Let more dopamine flow. Let more serotonin flow. Let more... These are hormones. She asked me, what are hormones?
That's true.
And these are all, because of my Christian background, shall I say, God manufactured, God made systems. So the two of you must remain active to sustain one another. Even the lady must stay awake. These days I hear because of money, because of stress, because of anxiety, because of depressions, ati mtu anasema ukimaliza unifunikie.
Bwana.
More particularly, and I don't want to be tribal or chauvinistic, more particularly some parts of the country where it depends on how much money you gave her.
Okay.
now you are connecting gifts.
I have.
The materialistic. Yeah. But these things should never be materialistic. So you continue with the game. Continue even when the man has finished. Let him continue playing around with the organs. Organs, including the skin, is an organ. Is the second biggest organ. The blood. Play around with her senses. Play around with her seeing. Let her see you smile. Let her see you happy. Let her hear you whisper into her ear. Tell her a lie. Okay, these are all hormones. It will increase dopamine. It will increase serotonin. It will increase oxytocin, and she will relax further and slowly go down. We call this in men. We say he's in the refractory period. Refractory means amekwisha. He's semi. He has an erectile dysfunction. He is not even stiff anymore. And do you know why?
Why?
Because you did the first one. The man did the first one.
Okay.
Now, what we are waiting for are the sperms and the semen in which they are swimming to travel, at least to move out from the V to the cervix, to the uterus, to the fallopian tube.
So all this also connects to a man, but
absolutely,
inside the woman.
Yes, inside the woman, we want the nguvu za kiume to travel a little bit, because there are two issues here. There is a pleasure, and there is reproduction. We also want a baby. You know, when God made this thing, he did it for 2 or more reasons. First one is making babies, procreation.
Yeah, procreation, yeah.
The second one is pleasure and appreciation of one another. So, for making babies, these nguvu za kiume, the sperm cells, must travel, must swim at least 1 foot inside, so that by the time you press her again, because this is springing, by the time you spring her uterus again and the systems, they will have moved away. Now, tell me, Linda.
Yes.
Suppose people are going for a cruise country and they are 10,000 and they are expected to go for 12 miles and, 9 kilometers. And so they are starting. And then when they reach half the journey, you interrupt them. They will not finish the journey. Some will collapse, some will come back, some will. So what we want is as many of them to finish the journey as possible, this race. So the man collapses so that he doesn't interrupt. I don't know whether you see it.
Now I see it. It makes so much sense. All right.
We don't want another interruption. Wacha hizi kwanza ziende.
Safari.
Zifikishe, and then if you want, you can come and try again, and that is why we have a refractory period. During refractory period, the woman wants, but the man cannot rise up to the occasion. So don't blame us.
Okay.
Find the women going around. Wangu hanitoshereshi, mine cannot. It's because God made it such that they travel, and they have to travel as far as possible in and near to the egg. And in the meantime, the egg releases impulses like electric feelings, and is calling them, come. Niko hapa, I'm here, please come. So it is the egg that is calling them. And they are swimming competitively, just like that race, that like that cross country, like that marathon. They are swimming, competing for the best. They let the best. We call it the difficult journey of the sperm. And you know, in there,
wait
it
a
is
minute.
not smooth.
It starts at the moment it gets to a woman, not when it's coming from a man. Because there are moments where I hear, you know what, I have to hold it. Yes.
So at this point, was talking from experience. Anyway, that's not the... Not Linda. Linda is a nun. Linda is a Catholic nun. Now. So what we are saying is, once they land, that's post-ejaculation.
Okay.
After ejaculation, hormones flow, love hormones flow into the woman more than ever before. And now she's sucking. There is a suction, again, experience. There is a suction movement. And there are cilia, there are grasses, like villi that are pulling inside. Come. And the egg is sending impulses to the sperm cells. Come, I'm here. And this is all hormonal. We are stressing the hormonal imbalance because Linda said today's question is about hormones. So finally, they all land, but many of them die in between. We called it the difficult journey of the sperm. They find it very rough. It's only the very healthy. And you know, they don't reach many. But somebody can release up to 30 million per ejaculation.
Wow.
But the ones that reach the egg are less than 100.
Okay.
All the others die on the way. When they reach there, finally, the egg has been calling them. They start, shall I use the word, vomiting onto the egg. They touch the egg with the beak, and it softens the shell of the egg. This other one comes and vomits on the shell of the egg, and it again softens. Then another one comes from very fast and dip, and it goes in. Bursts. Okay. The shell has burst.
So in this case, what would cause abnormal hormonal flow and consequently delay getting pregnant?
Now, the last one, then let me go to the last one. Now, that hormone which did all this, or those hormones, FSH, luteinizing hormone, and finally did I say estrogens and luteinizing hormone, there is another hormone now called progesterone.
Yes, the woman.
Fertilization is going to take place now because we said the best has penetrated into the egg and fertilization has taken place. And from that minute on, that is a baby. Life starts, even in our constitution, life starts at conception, at fertilization. So if somebody then swallows a P2, he is committing, he's killing, she's killing the baby. So there is a baby, even if it is time fraction T, there is a baby already. So progesterone takes over, another hormone. So progesterone is going to now take care of feeding of this baby. Suppose we don't have sufficient of FSH, we don't have sufficient or excessive of estrogens, we don't have sufficient or excess of luteinizing hormone, we don't have sufficient or we have something we call luteal insufficiency. When we don't have sufficient of progesterone, which will be responsible for nutrition and life of the baby. Pro means for, gesterone, for gestation. For the baby now to grow, there is a hormone progesterone. Now, ask you a question. You've asked how, why then should a woman not conceive? It is when this system is just like gears of a car. You are not going to start a car with gear number 5. You are not going to accelerate with gear number 1. There is a sequence. So these hormones have been arranged in a certain sequence and each is taking over from the other. Okay? When they are now rabo-jabbled, let me give an example for you to understand.
Yes.
Rabo-jabble.
As we close.
As we close.
Yes.
Close, the whole program is over?
Yes, 1 hour is over.
Oh my, now we are not even 1/4 through the program. Now, if you see a fruit tree, I'll give an example of a pawpaw tree.
Yes.
And this pawpaw has 8 pawpaw fruits. But one of them is still miniature, small, but it's yellowish, like it is ripe. That is hormonal imbalance. You see, this mango has very many small mangoes that are going to develop. But some, when they are still very young and very immature, are already yellow. That is hormonal imbalance. And I want, because you mentioned we are ready.
Yes.
I want to say that these hormones that I've explained are in the woman. A man will have similar hormones, only replacing estrogen with testosterone. And we have come across men who have very little testosterone. Hormonal imbalance in a man. He has 3 something instead of 10 or 12.
Because they don't eat well.
Because sometimes they don't eat well. Sometimes there is a genetic problem. Sometimes there is azoospermia. Sometimes he has had diseases, epididymitis, sometimes hydrocele, sometimes varicocele. Disease in man can also cause hormonal imbalances.
Dr. Ignatius, we have to close. But you say we are not even halfway done. So we can do it next time. We can
anytime I'm at your service.
072
0722 5344